The summer of 2022 has been unusual in China. While southern China suffers from extreme high temperatures and scorching heat that hasn't receded at all, the region of Changbai Mountains in northeastern China received a heavy snowfall on August 26th, leaving a blanket of white everywhere. Locals said, what was a summer scene a day before had turned into winter overnight. At almost the same time, it also snowed in Tianjin, a city in northern China. Can you see it clearly? You can make out if it's rain or snow, right? It's August 28th, 2022. I'm still in summer vacation, okay? In addition to the cities just mentioned, on August 20th, it also snowed in Xinjiang, a topic that trended on the Chinese internet at the time.
This is Xinjiang, see? August 20th. Brother, have you put on your winter jacket? Yes, it's on. I have a thick jacket on. This is Xinjiang.
According to simulation data released by the China Meteorological Administration, rain and snowy weather may still occur several times in the northern part of the country in the coming days. Over the past 2 months, hundreds of Chinese cities have experienced high temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius or 104 degrees Fahrenheit. 66 rivers have dried up, and water levels in parts of the Yangtze River Basin have dropped to their lowest point in 157 years. Beijing officials said this year was the hottest since complete meteorological records began in 1961. According to an August 23rd report in the international science magazine New Scientist, the current high temperatures in China are the worst in human history. According to the report, a Spanish climatologist and weather historian who specializes in monitoring extreme weather recently said that there had never been a high temperature in world meteorological history that was so widespread, long-lasting, and so extremely intense. He claimed, "There is nothing in world climatic history which is even minimally comparable to what is happening in China." As late as August 28th, the Chinese Meteorological Bureau issued high temperature warnings, notifying that temperatures across southern China were still above 40 degrees Celsius or 104 degrees Fahrenheit. By August 31st, China's weather forecast predicted high temperatures around 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit in most cities. However, some parts of China suddenly received low temperatures and frosts, such as Inner Mongolia, Shanxi Province, and Zhangjiakou, a city near Beijing. The weather in Xi'an is so odd. A few days ago, it was over 40 degrees Celsius, 104 degrees Fahrenheit. The air conditioner got hot because of how hard it worked, but overnight the temperature dropped, like from fire to ice. I had to put on my fall pants, and my stomach still ached from the cold. My nose was running when I walked around the block. When I checked the temperature, it was only 15 degrees Celsius, 59 degrees Fahrenheit.
It got to -3 degrees Celsius, 26 Fahrenheit overnight. All the peppers were frozen. Look, so many peppers. My boss planted more than 100 mu, 6.7 hectares. There's some over there too. This is a loss of several $100,000. What a shame.
It's over. It's all over. Frozen to death. 1 mu of land has lost 2 tons of production. Today is August 27th, 2022. When I came here in the morning, I saw that there were still leaves, but in the afternoon they were frozen dry. This is Zhangjiakou City, Hebei Province, and it was -2 degrees Celsius or 28.4 degrees Fahrenheit last night. You see, these are frozen. Can they still be sold? Many of my friends have asked me if these melons are still salvageable. And look, how can they still be saved? At the same time, some areas of Chengdu, Sichuan province, the hottest province in China, have been hit by floods after extreme high temperatures. China's national TV station also reported this news, but didn't show the astonishing images. 10 days ago, a Chinese netizen posted a video about a sudden landslide at a hydropower station in Sichuan province. Officials later dispelled it as a rumor, saying that the landslide didn't occur at the hydropower station, but in the vicinity of the station. But the official didn't explain the cause of the landslide amidst high temperatures. The Sichuan provincial government has been using artificial precipitation on a certain scale to bring down the temperature. It has brought some surprising scares to the local people when some rainfall shells went off track and fell in busy urban areas.
Look, it just fell from the sky. It was used to bring rains. Look, it's still hot. This is terrifying. You almost hit someone just now, and it landed on my doorstep.
Tibet, a highland region in western China, is currently in the grip of a serious outbreak. It is also experiencing historically high temperatures. The ancient glaciers are melting, which is a very rare occurrence. It's so shocking. All the ice and snow are melting now, and there's a glacier flowing below. Oh my gosh, yikes, wow. The ice is melting and the icy water keeps coming. My goodness. Next to Tibet, Qinghai province, in a town of Xingying, villagers found the mountain moving at a speed of 30 meters per hour. This phenomena scared and alarmed the villagers. Some netizens said that more than 100 people in the area had fled quickly. All of the anomalies just mentioned that broke out in China this summer may be considered by many people as extreme weather or natural phenomena. But in the traditional Chinese culture, anomalies are taken very seriously, as this ancient civilization believes that nature would give reminders to human beings and would show different signs corresponding to the rise or fall of human morality in society. When a natural or man-made disaster occurred or when the regime was in danger, the Chinese emperors of all dynasties would bathe and fast, offering sacrifices to the gods and goddesses of heaven and earth and repenting themselves of their faults and mistakes. Sometimes they would issue an edict of repentance to the whole society, an official document to reflect on, and take the blame for the abnormalities of what went wrong in society. In ancient China, the emperor was known as the Son of Heaven who was bound by the laws of heaven. History recorded that in nearly half of the edicts of repentance, the emperors condemned themselves for natural disasters. The ancients talked about the connection between heaven and man, and that by understanding the way of heaven, one could understand mankind. A calamity is a warning from the heavens, and the root cause of a calamity is the negligence of governance and the lack of virtue in people's hearts. Therefore, when the seasons are mixed, meteorites are dropping, the earth is falling, droughts and floods are frequent, and plagues are rampant, humans should be alerted. For example, in 1679, when an earthquake of magnitude 8 hit Beijing, the capital of the Qing dynasty, Emperor Kangxi issued an edict of repentance. He stated that his own virtue that failed to keep up had led to the major misdeeds of his subordinate officials, and that the earthquake was only heaven's way of warning him. This tradition came to an end on the first day when the CCP started the Red Dynasty in China. Not only did the CCP leaders ever issue any repentance, but they would never admit and correct any mistake even when everyone knew they were wrong. This is because the CCP has always claimed to be glorious, great, and correct. This is why, in the face of extreme drought and massive crop failure, the CCP still insists on the zero-COVID policy. It's a political mission above all else, so all kinds of seemingly absurd scenes continue in the summer of 2022. On the plains of the north, if you are working in the farmland, you must flee quickly upon seeing the incoming anti-epidemic personnel. It's a stroke of luck whether you can get away or not. On the islands of Hainan province, if you go out to catch a few small fish due to a lack of food, you'll be arrested by the police. In the mountainous areas of the south, the trees and grasses aren't enough to provide cover for the planters because the police and epidemic prevention agents will search the mountains for those who are doing their farm work. You violate the emergency order issued by the government and keep disobeying the government's advice. Okay. On the other hand, in big cities, people are still required to wear masks in areas that are no longer considered risky. But here, the government doesn't think implementing the zero-COVID policies is hindered in any way when people are jammed together, almost to the point of face-to-face when commuting to work. This is because, according to the policy, everything is okay if everyone wears a mask. All the officials have to do is carry out the party's orders like a machine. No matter how hard the CCP tries to erase the traditional Chinese culture, in the hearts and minds of the people there are still remnants that have been passed down for thousands of years. People are feeling vaguely uneasy with the chaos of the summer of 2022. Traditional beliefs in China and some neighboring Asian countries think that the counterpart to the gods of righteousness and light are demons. In normal times, the gods are watching over mankind, but when a dynasty is about to fall, demons are brought into play, bringing disaster and harm to mankind. Perhaps it's a coincidence that on March 5th of this year, the news broke in Japan that the stone sealed with the nine-tailed fox had cracked. Nine-tailed foxes exist in both Chinese and Japanese legends, and they are more or less the same story, which is the nine-tailed fox disguises itself as a beautiful woman, confuses the emperor, and commits a lot of bad deeds against the people. It's said that a prominent Buddhist monk killed the nine-tailed fox in Japan at the time, but the fox's grievances remained strong and were parasitized in the rocks near the crater in the photo. This crater emits toxic substances, so no grass or trees grow nearby. But recently, the stone that sealed the demon cracked open. When this news came out, some Chinese netizens said half-jokingly, wondering if the fox demon would come to China. On August 31st of this year, after heavy rain in the arid Kumukuli Desert in Xinjiang, a photographer captured this scene with a drone at high altitude. 2 lakes and a sand beam. When viewed from a high altitude, it looks like a desert fox gazing into the sky. The Kumukuli Desert covers an area of 1,600 square kilometers, making it the highest desert in the world. Many netizens lamented, "It's scary." Others commented, "Isn't this the birth of a demon?"